On September 24th, we lost someone very dear to us. Dave passed away peacefully at his brother's home, surrounded by the family he loved so very dearly. But today, we're not here to mourn his passing. We all came here for David's very last request, to smile through the pain, to enjoy the time we have together, and to make each other laugh, as he did so many times for us. Dave's positivity through the harshest and most painful times made coping with the situation he was in a little bit easier. Through all his pain, he never failed to crack a joke, no matter how dark, to get you to smile and not take the remaining time with him for granted. The time I knew Dave was short, but he left an everlasting impact on my life and has given me a new outlook. Through his own pain and illness, he seemed as though he was on a mission. No matter what the outcome was, he wanted you to walk away with from the situation, knowing that giving up is never an option, and to always look through even the darkest times with the utmost positivity. I guess it was that kind of larger-than-life determination and positivity that drew people to him. You only had to look at his social media pages to find in his final days and witness dozens of people looking for his next inspirational good morning, peace, and love always posts. He retained that optimistic outlook through his final personal challenge, to make sure he was here for his benefit, to have one last chance to enjoy his family and friends, to personally thank everyone for being in his life, and to leave everyone smiling through their tears, and against all odds, he was able to see that through. The strength that we saw in Dave was unparalleled and an amazing inspiration. At times when all focus was on him, he would always turn the attention to the friends and family that had helped him along. I had the honor of being able to talk to Dave alone for about half an hour to 45 minutes to see if there was any last words he would like me to spread amongst you. He told me to keep it positive and to remind you all not to take life for granted, because as we witnessed, things can turn around in a heartbeat. And the last thing he wanted me to do was share a story with you to make you all laugh. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. While talking to Dave in those about half hour to 45 minutes, I was reminded by him of a time a little over a year ago that he said stuck out in his memory of me. A couple of friends and I were up in the Mankato Mall and looking around at the whole lot of nothing, and stumbled into the My Pillow store, and a brilliant plan began to take shape. After a little bit of negotiating with the cashier, we were able to walk away from the store with a full life-size cutout of Mike Lindell. Now, if you spend any amount of time with Dan, you might start to see the sheer genius that was our idea. If you're not yet sure what the significance is, just ask Dan. Just make sure you have plenty of beer and a comfortable chair. Well, we purchased the cutout and we had to wait for the opportune time to deliver the perfect gift to Dan. We waited well over a week for Dan and Hani to return from vacation and decided the timing wouldn't be any better. Me and Isaac Paul called Dan and told him we bought him an awesome welcome home gift for him while he was away and to meet us outside. Away we went to deliver this little present, and as we pulled into the driveway, Dan and Dave were standing outside talking, and the reaction from Dan when he got a look at our grand token of friendship was utter disgust. And the reaction from Dave was complete amusement. Dan was able to live out his fantasies and take his aggression out on poor Mike Lindell, who was torn apart by a 12 gauge and burned in a fire. I don't think a minute passed without Dave breaking out in uproarious laughter about how good of a prank we had managed to pull off. Shortly afterwards, sitting around having a beer with Dave and Dan, Dave caught word that a couple of friends that he hadn't seen in years were up at the Buffalo Center bar. So having a DD and having free time, Dave hopped into the vehicle with us. That was about the last I saw of Dave that night. As soon as we showed up, he started having a conversation with those old friends, and about 8 o'clock, I noticed he was having a good time. About 9 o'clock, he was having a great time. And at 11 o'clock, I had no idea where the hell Dave was. We looked around and waited for him, thinking that maybe he went somewhere with the friends, and he will be back later. I waited till 3 a.m. before heading home. Now I have to say I was dreading having to tell Dan and Hani that I misplaced Dave. He had actually left word for us up at the bar, but that word was not delivered. His full speed ahead, exuberance for life, and his loved ones was evident that night. He had a way of enjoying life that very few people will ever achieve. I'm sure everyone here has a story that compares to that in one way or another. We should always try and remember the fun and hilarious times we had with Dave, no matter how small they seem or may seem to be. Hold them dearly. Dave was entirely selfless and lived every day trying to help someone else have a better one. He was a loving father, a beloved son, an amazing brother, and to me, a great friend. I will never forget the memories that were made and will cherish them dearly. Peace and love always.